I just found a rubber in my wife's car. Now what? This story was first posted on October 29th, 2024. So pretty recent. We've been together for about 10 years and married for 6. We have no kids now, but we are planning to start trying pretty much now. We are both very active, going to the gym, eating healthy, and are both in relatively great shape. My wife is gorgeous with a phenomenal body, but I would probably consider myself maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10 on the attractiveness scale. Don't undermine yourself. I realize that, but we have always had a really strong relationship. We started as great friends, realized we were just right for each other, and that developed into true romantic love and devotion. The sex has always been fantastic. There were never any issues there with quality or frequency. I was washing my wife's car, as I do pretty often. In the course of cleaning the interior, I found an open, empty rubber wrapper under her passenger seat. We don't use them since she has always been on birth control. I'm driving myself insane with all the stories and scenarios running through my brain. Yeah, my mind would be going, it would just be going insane. She spends a lot of time at the gym working with weights and doing her cardio, like 3 hours, 4 days a week, so there are frequent times when we are apart. She has never given me any reason to suspect that she's been unfaithful. I know I have to confront her, but I'm scared to death of what might be the truth. She is my world, and I can't imagine starting a family with anyone else. I'm afraid I'm going to break. Yeah, it would almost be like you obviously want to know what the deal is, but at the same time, maybe you don't want to know. That would be so tricky. Edit to add. Wow, you are all amazing. I'm so touched by the DMs and heartfelt responses. I had no idea I would get so many responses so quickly. I wanted to add some details to save me from having to reply to all of the common comments. My wife has never given me a reason to think she has cheated before this. She has always been loving and affectionate, and we were looking to start a family very soon. Some have speculated that kids coming soon may have led her to one last fling. I don't know, possibly. We are an open book to each other with our finances pretty much entirely tied up as one. She comes from a pretty upper middle class background and her parents are very comfortable. I come from a home where my parents were fighting their own demons, so I didn't get a lot of attention growing up. Not a criticism, it was easy to get lost in the shuffle of my parents' problems. We are cordial, but not super close. I am way closer to her family, and I love her mom and dad and her younger sister. Financially, we are fine. Together, we make about $150K per year. She makes $60K as a law firm assistant. I make $90K as an auto technician. We own a house together that we were able to purchase with a down payment from her family. If worse comes to worse, I have no interest in fighting for that money. It is theirs and they can have it back if we end up selling the house. Some have commented about the amount of time that she's at the gym. We go to separate gyms. She gets off work at 4 and goes straight to the gym where she does a class, then works out with weights and the cardio on the treadmill. I was never suspicious of the time that she spends there. By the time she gets home, I'm already there and she jumps directly in the shower and then we make dinner together and we hang out. As far as a lawyer or investigator, investigators? You haven't even talked to her yet. As far as a lawyer or an investigator, there's no way I could do that in secret with the way we manage our finances. So that's out for now. Someone explained to me how to get detailed phone records from Visible, so that's my next step. I will get the records when I have time to myself and see if there's a number that she's in contact with a lot that I do not recognize. I'll try to figure out where to go from there and let you all know. I was gonna say, why hire a private investigator when you can just do some private investigating yourself? Just saying. All right, the first update is coming October 30th, the very next day from this original post. Lots of folks asked for an update, not a whole lot to say, but things are getting interesting. I am shaking as I type this. Thanks to everyone in the comments and the DMs for the empathy and well wishes. A lot of good tips and advice too. Man, I would hate to piss some of you off. Some of you are vindictive. First off, I found a wrapper, not an actual used rubber. So the suggestion of DNA testing was not useful. Oh, what are you gonna bring that somewhere? Ew. I wouldn't want to touch that. And thanks to this user for the information about getting detailed phone records from Visible. Today at work, during some break time, I requested a download of the phone records, but it says the request could take up to 45 days. We don't have time to wait. There's no way I'm waiting 45 days to find that out. I can't wait that long. I also drove by her work on my lunch break. I don't know why or what I expected, but her car was there, as it normally is. Lots of good advice to track her, get a VAR, look at her phone without knowing, hire an investigator, a lawyer, etc. Or maybe we could just have a conversation with her. I mean, are you guys having a conversation immediately, or are you going into, I will find this out myself because she's probably not going to tell the truth about it if she is cheating on me? I can't deal with this. I am taking the advice a lot of you had, and I'm just going to confront her today when she gets home. As some of you suggested, I plan to just put the wrapper on the table in plain sight and watch her body language. I am so scared and nervous, I am almost pissing my pants. I am really starting to expect the worst. For me, if she cheated, there's zero chance that we will stay married. Zero. I don't care what excuses or reasons or whatever she has, I'm 100% done. No therapy, no counseling, nothing. I can't believe I am typing this. It makes it seem real. I can't imagine her, sucking or effing some other guy or guys. That's an image I could never get out of my head for the rest of my life. As far as assets, we don't have a lot. We have a pretty nice house that her dad helped us pay for. I'm happy to let her have it with my fair share and pay back her father. Otherwise, it is BS, like 2 cars, some furniture, some decent savings that we have both contributed to, so I'm willing to split 50-50. The thought of divorce is burning a pit in my gut. I'll post again after I confront her. Either way, I think this thing comes to a conclusion tonight. The pit I have in my stomach, and it's not even me, but just knowing that moment of confrontation that could quite literally change your entire life within a split second. Before we go on to the next mini update we have here, I need a sip of water. Guys, look how freaking cute this cup is. It changes colors when you put cold water in it. I got it at Dollarama, and if you aren't following my shorts channel, you can see the video. Okay, I'll put the shorts channel. I think it's in the description below. It should be anyways, if you want to see all my short content. Look at this cup. You can watch the magic happen. Cheers. Cute cups make you drink more water. I don't care what anyone says. I don't make the rules. It's just the truth. All right, so we have a mini update. This was on the same post, but just a few hours later. Okay, instead of sitting here pissing my pants, I wanted to just type a few more things to keep busy. I'm sitting here trying to find any other reason to doubt her. The wrapper, it was fairly pristine, not something stuck on a shoe or sitting in a parking lot. Dash cam. Yes, I've checked the dash cam footage. Oh, I never thought about the dash cam footage. Ooh, good call. Nothing suspicious or out of the ordinary. Commutes to work, the gym, home, maybe a stop or two for typical errands like the grocery store, cleaners. Zero suspicious activity. But she does know there is a dash cam too, so who knows, maybe she's just being very careful. The car, yes, we bought it 2 years ago. It is a 2018 Infiniti Q60 Coupe. It had an extremely small back seat. I can't imagine having sex back there, but who knows what motivated people might be capable of. I clean and vacuum it at least once a month, so there's zero chance it has been there the whole time. Ironically, we usually wash the cars together, but this time I happen to be doing it alone. Had she been there, this whole thing would probably be over by now. Our current state of relationship. It's really strong, as far as I know. She comes home, we share a glass of wine while we make dinner together, we talk about our day, cuddle on the couch if we watch a show. We really have what anyone from the outside would be jealous of. No feeling of distance, no hiding a phone, and no drop off in sex, which has always been and still is great. Her gym time. With as much as she does, it really is reasonable for her to spend 2.5 hours at the gym. I've gone with her, I've seen her work out. It's pretty extensive and her body shows it. I am so proud of how great she looks and how she takes such good care of herself and encourages me and cares about our health. I've never been suspicious about it, maybe foolishly. Yes, she comes home and showers right away, but she's typically sweaty and feels gross. Okay, yeah, like after the gym, most times you want to hop right in the shower. She doesn't avoid me when she walks in. She will typically come over and greet me with a kiss on the lips and then hit the shower. If she was just having sex with a side piece, I think she would be more discreet. We spend almost all of our time together on the weekends, go for a jog, date night, happy hour with friends, dinner with family, etc. She has a lot of girlfriends from work and they sometimes go out for a girls' night, like once every 2 months. But again, nothing suspicious. I see the credit card charges, so I don't believe she is hiding anything. And her girlfriends are all awesome, and I love hanging out with them and their husbands/boyfriends. I'm torn and getting nervous about talking to her tonight, but I gotta get this over with. Yeah, it's gonna eat you alive at this point. It's like ripping the Band-Aid. Just rip that sucker off. Next update came the same day, 10 hours later. This should be my final post on the topic. I took a lot of your advice and decided to just confront her tonight. Sorry for the length, but it was a lot. My wife came home from the gym about 6:45, like always. I was sitting at the kitchen table alone. She came over, said hi, kissed me on the lips, and went off to take a shower, pretty much like usual. I'm not gonna lie, when she came over to kiss me, I smelled really hard for any evidence of man sense. She's probably like, bruh, why are you sniffing me? Cologne, soap, deodorant, sweat, anything. I got nothing. As she showered, I sat by myself in a ball of anxiety and damn near chickened out. She got out of the shower and came into the kitchen with wet hair, sweats, and a t-shirt, looking beautiful as usual. Oh. She sat down like we always do and expected to chat about our day. She could see immediately that something was wrong. She asked what's up. I mean, I was shaking and so nervous, like you cannot believe. I asked, have you lent your car to anyone recently? No. Have you had any passengers in your car the last few weeks? She thought for a second and said no. I asked, has anyone besides you or me been in your car the last few weeks? She said no. What the hell is going on? I asked to see her phone. She looked at me weird, but said, okay, and just slid the phone to me across the table, no hesitation, and said, what the F is going on? Yeah, because if she didn't do anything and she turns out innocent in all this, I would wonder the same thing. I didn't touch her phone. I took the wrapper out of my pocket and I set it on the table. She looked at it but had no real visible reaction. I didn't say a word. After a few seconds, she said, what the hell is that? I said, it's a rubber wrapper. She said, it's obviously a wrapper, but what the F is a wrapper doing on our kitchen table? She was starting to get annoyed. She's either a really good actor or she sincerely had no idea what was happening. I told her I found it under her car seat while I was cleaning her car. She honestly looked dumbfounded. She said she had no idea how it got there. She seemed really sincere and started to get concerned. She asked if I thought it was hers. I said, I'm not sure. Is it? She said, you have got to be kidding me. You seriously think I'm effing around on you? Are you crazy? What the hell is wrong with you? She took her phone and waved it at me and said, here, please, look at my phone, call my sister, who she shares everything with, call any of my friends. I'm not sure what you want me to say. We sat in silence, very uncomfortable for a minute or two. I didn't take my eyes off her, looking for any sign like a tear. I said, what would you think if roles were reversed? She admitted she would probably be suspicious, but would give me the benefit of the doubt. She literally went through every day the past couple of weeks, where she went, who she was with, what she was doing, trying to come up with any kind of explanation. She finally remembered an after-work thing that they did for a friend of hers, a baby shower kind of thing at a restaurant after work. One of the girls at her office was invited but couldn't go, so she asked my wife to please take her gifts to the party. My wife said sure. They walked down to my wife's car to put the gifts in, and my wife's stuff was in the front passenger seat. As I said, the car she drives, the Infiniti Q60, has a tiny back seat, and access to that back seat is ridiculously difficult. As her friend was putting the gifts in, she spilled her purse all over the floor behind the passenger seat. That was the only possibility she could think of. Okay, I'm actually trying to picture that. Her friend might have an empty wrapper in her purse and it spills and it goes under her seat and you would have absolutely no idea. But it's possible, very possible. As I sat there, she insisted we call that friend immediately, and she did just that. She put her friend on speakerphone. She asked her if she remembered when she spilled her purse. She answered yes. She asked if she was sure she got everything picked up off the floor. She answered, I think so. Why? My wife then seriously asks, do you and boyfriend's name use rubbers? Her friend kind of chuckled and said, yes. My wife asked what brand and she answered Trojans. Same size too. My wife looked straight into my eyes and asked, when you dumped your purse in my car, is there a chance that there were rubbers in it? Her friend said, yes, it's not unusual for me to have them in my purse. Why? My wife told her about the wrapper. Her friend said she doesn't know why she would have an empty wrapper in her purse, but it is certainly possible. Okay, this is starting to sound more plausible, right? She hung up the phone and looked at me and asked if I would like to go through her phone. I said no, and she asked, mystery solved? I literally started crying. Oh, I was crying because I was so effing relieved. I was crying because I'm married to the most awesome woman in the world who loves me more than anything. Or she's just a really good liar. Maybe that's just me because I don't trust anybody, but like, she could also just be like. And I was crying because I was racked with guilt and I thought that she could be cheating. I felt miserable for how I must have made her feel. My incredible wife took it so well. She hit me with her dish towel and said, Jesus Christ, I cannot believe you think that I would cheat on you. But she admitted again she may have felt the same if she was in my shoes. She even laughed a little and said it was kind of cute that I was so jealous and nervous about asking her about it. We decided to have our glass of wine and go out for dinner. At dinner, we talked about how excited we are to start trying for a baby. I am a billion% sure she's telling the truth. I know her like nobody else. I know her body language. I know her voice and how it sounds when she is stressed or hiding something. There was none of that. I hope none of you have to go through this, but thanks for all the well wishes. I will probably just let my wife read this thread at some point, but not while it's still so fresh. Plus, she'll probably rip me for being on Reddit for advice. She's not necessarily a fan, haha. So all is good. Really good. Have a great life, everyone. However, we have an update, so I'm curious as to where the story continues. Before I read it, who believes her? That's what I really want to know. For some reason, I do. That could really have happened. It's a genuine story that could happen. And also, you could step on a wrapper. It could end up in your car somehow under the seat. Like, who knows? Or she's a really good liar. But she could be so innocent that I don't even want to call her that. You know, let me know your thoughts. Next update came on November 2nd, 3 days later. The rubber situation had a happy ending, but my initial reaction upon finding the rubber was concerning to both my wife and I. I think it's pretty reasonable, to be honest. We have a really solid relationship, both physically and emotionally. In our 10+ years of our relationship, she has never given me any indication of anything other than 100% love, faithfulness, and devotion to me. Despite this, my reaction was to immediately jump to the worst case scenario, and it really caused me to panic and spiral. You can read the panic in my posts. Yeah, but raise your hand if you're reacting that way. If I find a wrapper, what other thought would be in my head? It's a wrapper. My wife has been so understanding and supportive, and we have talked a lot. First off, she reiterated that if I ever had any concerns about anything, that I need to talk with her. But otherwise, we talked a lot about why this was my initial thought. We talked about the fact that I have always considered her just absolutely beautiful and way more attractive than me. We talked about how she constantly garners the attentions of guys whenever we are out in a social situation, movies, bars, restaurants. I constantly see the eyes of men on her, and with good reason. She is a 12 out of 10. I mean that in all seriousness. Guys are surprised when they see her and realize that she is with me. Know that I am insecure, anxious, defensive, and lack confidence about that specific aspect of our relationship. She says I am crazy. My man, maybe all eyes are on her in a room, but who is she going home with? You. She chose you, dude. That should be enough confidence in itself, you know? She has eyes only for me, showers me with love. Holy smokies. Physical affection and attention when we are out, makes it obvious that she's not interested in flirting with anyone. She's unfazed and unimpressed with guys' attention or flirty comments. She says I am wrong about my looks and she thinks no man on earth is better looking than me. So here's the crux. Would I benefit from therapy, single therapy or couples? Any kind of therapist I should be looking for, I am really willing to give this a try. Well, hey, you know what? I do think there's some insecurities there, as you've mentioned, and working on those would only strengthen yourself and your relationship, so no harm there. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this one in the comments. Ow, I just cracked my wrist. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow.